Hi, Emily. Welcome to KeyTV. I'm so excited to meet you and have this interview. How are you doing over there?
I'm so excited too. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. Just here at the Gibson showroom in Austin, Texas. And yeah, I'm excited. And yeah, I love your
Yeah, and
background. All the
I can
pedals.
see why, because you have such an amazing guitar sitting on your lap over there. And it's the whole reason why we do this interview, because we at Key Music have ordered a bunch of those guitars.
That's awesome.
But first of all, this is your first signature guitar, right?
That's right.
I mean, that's like a childhood dream for you, for every musician, right?
It sure is. Yeah, I really didn't think this would happen until I was very old, like done touring, done making music, just making pottery in my house. And then, I thought I had to have this really long career and then it would happen. But Epiphone and Gibson have been so great with supporting emerging artists, which I am an emerging artist. And so it's really amazing.
How do you even start by putting a guitar together? Is it like a blank canvas and you can choose literally everything you want? Or how does it work?
Pretty much, yeah. I think so. This came about, it's based on my original Sheraton that I got 10 years ago that I've been playing on the road. It's like my number one guitar. And so that was the inspiration for this guitar. And it's really similar in a lot of ways, but it's also really unique in a lot of ways. Like the Sheraton that I have, the headstock is a lot bigger and more exaggerated than this. So we downsized the headstock and added diamond F holes, which is awesome.
Man.
I
Yeah.
took the fourth knob off because I requested that because I can't reach it. The finish is different. It's like an aged kind of satin finish. So it's based on the guitar that I played forever on the road. It's just got some different tweaks for like the way that I play now. And yeah, I mean that's kind of what happened. And the guys at Epiphone and my rep Cody helped me design it and got everything really tight. And I road tested it. And we switched the pickups out to be low output because the high output pickups with the diamond F holes resonates in a kind of a weird way. But if you have them low output, it's a really kind of a sweet spot. So, yeah.
How many prototypes did you have? Different? Or was it right on?
So I had one prototype with the high output pickups. And then the second one I had so on the back of the headstock, my signature, you probably can't see it at the moment on a computer screen, but it was gold. And then I was like, well, maybe it should be more subtle because I do want whoever owns this guitar, I want it to feel like theirs. So now it's black on black. So it's there, but it's very subtle and you can't really see it unless you're looking for it. But the second prototype had the gold, and then the third prototype is the final one.
Yeah. I mean, those F holes look amazing.
Thanks.
Is that inspired by Trini Lopez or, I mean, who has a diamond holes? Dave Grohl, I think, has them too.
Yeah.
Is that based on something you really like aesthetically, or is it more like the sound is different?
It's both. I love the Trini Lopez model and the Dave Grohl models because of the diamond F holes. And in the past, diamond F holes have been kind of an exclusive Gibson trait. And there's not an Epiphone until this one that has those. So I wanted to make that style accessible to that price range and just make it accessible to Epiphone players. So that was one of the reasons. And then another reason was just the resonance of them it's quite different than the regular F-hole style. It vibrates easier and it feels like you're putting on a pair of jeans that you've worn forever. and it just feels really good in your hands and vibrates really well, which gives it a lot of sustain. So it was kind of both aesthetic and sound wise.
That's also the reason why you chose the worn look, the worn lacquer, just for that same thing, you know, the jeans that fits a bit well.
Totally.
When you try them on.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting because when
Is
you
that
get a new guitar.
a satin lacquer?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Is that a satin lacquer?
Yeah, it's like the whole body and the back of the neck is a satin finish. So the neck, it's really quick to play. A lot of times with like regular glossy finishes, it's like not very quick, and you know your hands can get sweaty, and it's. But yeah, that's not a problem with this because of the satin finish, and the whole thing's satin finish. Even the hardware is like a sheen kind of aged gold. So it's really, it's unique in the way that it doesn't feel new. Like, even though it is a new guitar, it feels like it has been sitting in your house forever, you know? So I like that.
You know, we at Key Music, we have about 25 stores in Belgium, the Netherlands and France. So we're actually the concept of a physical store where people come in and try out things. That's where we stand for. How does it feel for you to know that within a couple of weeks, so many people in all over the world can grab that guitar and try it out? How does it feel for you to know that?
It feels insane. It's amazing. It feels like a huge milestone in my career. And mostly I'm excited because people are going to be able to look up at the shelves and see a guitar that hopefully they feel connected to. I remember when I walked in to buy my first Sheraton, I immediately was drawn to it and felt a connection to it. And so the fact that that could happen now with the same, you know, guitar based on that, that's really exciting to me. And it really means a lot.
I think also a lot of people will get to know you more as an artist too, because right here in these parts, your style of music, if I may say so, is not, you know, mainstream. But I think with those guitars hanging in all our stores and all other stores in the world, that you as an artist will get more listens on Spotify and Apple Music, etc. So
Yeah.
Is that also something you're excited about, that people will get to know you through your instrument?
Totally. It's a really unique way to connect with people in that way, because guitar is such a part of me that I feel like if someone, you know, is interested in this guitar, then I kind of feel like maybe we already know each other in that way. So yeah, it's really exciting. And it's an interesting way to kind of weave through a career. I think it's kind of a flip-flop situation, but I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's another way of connecting with people, with other musicians. I mean, you're a neck pickup artist, if I may say so. Neck pickup, a bit of fuzz. I mean, that's, for me, is also one of the greatest sounds ever.
Yeah.
So when I listen to your albums, I don't hear a semi-hollow guitar. I don't hear it. It sounds like another guitar, like a solid body guitar. How do you make your sound with that guitar and with a pedal board or pedals, or how do you make your sound?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of mid-range gain, and I basically tailor my pedal board to the guitar because I love the way it feels. And so whatever pedals I end up getting, you know, they have to sound good with this guitar. And so, which is cool because these pickups and this guitar sound great with most pedals. But the way I get my sound, I can show you if you want.
Yeah, show me.
I have an Earthquaker Devices tentacle pedal, and that's an octave pedal that I love that I put right before gain pedals. And that just, if you're on the neck pickup, it just adds this really amazing like top end. And like I really, the way I get my sound is just through knowing the ins and outs of and the frequency range of these pickups, and then tailoring whatever pedals I get to match those and whatever is going to sound good and like rich mid-range gain. That's my favorite, and it just feels really good to play. And I love fuzz too. That's another thing. I'm a big fan of fuzz. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just make sure that the gear that comes after this guitar complements this guitar. So yeah.
And you actually play a lot with your volume knob too, I think, you know, with especially with a fuzz pedal. Does that guitar complement pedals well in like with the volume knob, that it still holds its original sound and then blends with the pedals?
For sure. Yeah, these pickups I love because they're very clean. But if you need that like girth from a gain pedal, you know, it's going to take it really well because of the low output, which is interesting because a lot of times, I know before I did the prototype, I was like, oh, I need high gain pickups. But those, for me, can kind of take away some of the clarity. And the reason I love the low outputs is just because of the clarity, and the more gain that I put, the more even the chords will sound. So yeah, I mean, for me, if I saw this guitar in a shop and I tried it, I'd be like, this is the one, you know. So that's an exciting thing. Yeah.
Is there another kind? Do you know if there is a kind of player, yeah, who will also be attracted to this guitar? Is it more like a blues player, or is it more like a jazzy player, or is it more like a rock player? What kind of musician will be attracted to that sound, you think?
I think mostly rock players will dig this guitar, but I do also believe that if you do play jazz, it'll sound great. If you play country, it'll sound great. If you play, you know, if you're a singer-songwriter, it'll sound great because of the low output pickups and because of the way the FLs resonate. You know, if it's not plugged in, you can. It still projects. So you can be in your room and, you know, write a song just not plugged in, and it'll feel really good. And it's just, you know, it's one of those kind of jack of all trades guitars, because you really can put your own spin on it, you know, and it's something that I think is important when you're looking for a guitar, that it's not just a one-trick pony. There's a bunch of different tonal options you can get out of it. So yeah.
And I see it has an aged binding. Is that somewhat aged?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, it's a little bit not yellow, but it does have kind of a vintage look. So
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the guitar till now. I mean, I've seen some pictures, but when I see it now, when you first came on screen here, I was like, oh my God, that is one beautiful guitar. I must compliment you. It's amazing looking. It's like a custom Gibson shop, which you made for an affordable price and for everyone.
Right.
I mean, it's really amazing. It looks amazing. Can we see something a bit more on screen?
Of course.
Because we're going to release this video.
So that's the body, and it's, let me see if I can catch the light. what's interesting about this finish too is it doesn't really fingerprint that easily. A lot of times matte finishes will fingerprint pretty bad, but the more you play this guitar, the better it looks over time because of the finish. And it's like it's a thinner finish, so the sustain on this guitar is really, really amazing. But I love the thickness of the finish, and it's interesting. Like the more you touch it and the more you play it, the more vintage it looks, you know. And that's by design with the finish. So yeah, it's really cool. I'm a big fan. And then I don't know if you can see that, but the lightning bolt inlays are there. And then you got the Tree of Life logo, and then on the back there's a wolf emblem right there. Because I did want my logo on there, but not super loud or up front. So all the signature stuff is kind of on the back. Yeah.
You want to make it as available for everyone, even if they're not a fan of your music.
Totally. Yeah.
Which we hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
There are no people, but yeah. I mean, it's again, congratulations. It looks amazing. It looks really amazing. If I may say so, are there any other things that you as a musician look for constantly, looking for another sound, or is this like the Emily Wolfe sound? Your guitar, those pedals, that octave, that OCD, or are you constantly, like we other gear nerds here, searching for other pedals and other ways to make new sounds?
That's a good question. Yeah, so this, I think, I mean, I'm obviously constantly looking for new gear because I love it. But I have figured out that the main core sound is this guitar, these pickups, the tentacle, the OCD, and everything else like modulation, like chorus and delay, reverb, those change for me quite a bit. But the main sound is that dry kind of mid-range gain with this guitar. And when I play different guitars, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like me. I feel like I'm wearing a dress if I play a different guitar, which I never wear dresses. So yeah, this is the sound, I think. This is the main thing.
Yeah. And does it affect, did you take it with you to a recording studio? Are you working on a new album? And does that affect the way you write songs?
Yeah, so I do have a new album coming out this year, and I recorded it in LA. And there's guitar on every song. It's rock songs with pop production. So it's a little bit of a different direction, but this guitar was on every song, which is interesting because a lot of times for me, I've noticed that humbuckers don't always record well, but these do, and I think it's because they're low output. It was just really interesting because there was this whole kind of slew of other guitars that I had to choose from, and I always came back to this one. So this specific one is all over my new record, and it's very like, pan left and right stereo guitars. That's the sound of the record. So it's all this, it's all this guitar, which I'm really proud of too. I think that's really cool to have that continuity. Yeah.
When can we expect the new album?
It'll be out this summer.
Have you ever visited Belgium or the Netherlands? Do you even know Belgium? Where most people, I think, in America don't even know where Belgium is. Do you know have you ever visited Belgium?
I've never visited, but I would love to. I've heard you guys have the best chocolate. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, well I'll be there tomorrow.
We have the best chocolate, we have the best beer. That's also worldwide known, the best beer. So when you come out, please come and visit one of our stores.
Oh, for sure.
And I will give you a bunch of chocolate. you know? And then you can play something in return, and then we're all friends.
That sounds great.
What do you think?
That sounds like a great day to me.
Yeah. It's a great plan.
Great plan.
Too? Yeah.
Here's a song called No Man. It's off the new record. And yeah, here we go.
I got a fever and it's about 100 degrees. I am the real thing. Nothing coming to me for free. Don't need no man to tell me how to work my machine. I am a woman and a baby. I think that's my disease. I got a fever and it's about 103. I am the real thing. Tell me why you're so hard to please. I make you look bad even when you're trying your best. I got no secrets, but you never know what I'll do next. 'Cause I don't need no man. 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 Need no man. Need no man. Don't need no man. Don't need no man.
Ah, it's amazing. Ah, it's amazing. You really made my, I want to say day, but it's more like a week or a month or a year. It's really great. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
It's fantastic to meet you. Thank you very much for this time, for designing a beautiful guitar for everyone to enjoy. I hope the new album comes out and Corona is over and you be a worldwide superstar and then we'll chat again.
Oh man, that would be awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you again. That was so much fun. Yeah.